The border crisis continues to spiral out of control, all because Team Biden threw out every meaningful Trump policy enacted to secure the border, and it was all working, by the way. From wall construction to instant deportation, every American now knows, Republican and Democrat, this disaster is Joe Biden's fault. Yet Kamala Harris can't take the blame, of course. So on her first trip to the border today, she blames who else but President Trump.
We inherited a tough situation. In fact, right here in El Paso was the launch of the child separation policy. You saw it as it rolled out on the ground in real time. In 5 months, we've made progress.
Progress? I don't think so. They are either delusional or they're devious. Maybe a combination of both. It's like they're happy the migrants are pouring into our country. All you have to do is listen to Democrat Texas Congresswoman Veronica Escobar today, gleefully greeting the news media.
Welcome to El Paso. Welcome to my community, to the new Ellis Island, to the capital of the border.
To the new Ellis Island, she says? Come on. I don't think so. My great-grandfather came from Italy through Ellis Island, and he did it legally, not like the thousands, tens of thousands coming to the United States now. The Harris entourage has no business comparing the area they're in El Paso, any border area really, to Ellis Island. They never even went to see the worst of what this crisis has to offer. In fact, they barely got much further than the airport.
How did you decide that right now was the right time to make your first trip to the border?
Well, it's not my first trip. I've been to the border many times. I said back in March I was going to come to the border, so this is not a new plan.
It's not a new plan, she says. She said back in March. Come on. Of course this is a new plan. For months, she refused to tell us when she would head to the border over and over again. She dodged the question. And hey, if you don't believe me, watch this.
Okay. Do you have any plans to visit the border?
At some point, we are going to the border. We've been to the border.
Do you have plans to visit the border?
Not today.
Can you commit right now that you will indeed visit the U.S.-Mexico border, and will you do it soon?
Jeremy, let me tell you something. Yes, I will, and I have before. I've been to the border before. I will go again. But when I'm in Guatemala, dealing with root causes, I think we should have a conversation about what's going on in Guatemala.
All right. That was the norm, excuse after excuse after excuse, until, of course, President Trump decided to schedule a visit next week. And then, oh, lo and behold, now she realized the trip had to happen. We all got tired of her concern for, well, you heard her right there, talk about the root causes of the immigration crisis. Her travels to Central America did nothing to stop the flow of illegals coming to America. Even Department of Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas doubled down on Kamala's root cause gibberish.
The Vice President is leading our nation's efforts to address the root causes, that fundamental question of why people leave their homes.
So concerned about the root causes, what amazes me is the administration's failure to look at the root cause of so many issues here in America. How about the root cause of the violence plaguing America? Why don't they look into that? Well, they talk about the importance of root causes. Isn't there a root cause for the violence we see in our nation's inner cities? Murder is surging in nearly every major city, and the murder victims are disproportionately black. 8,600 black lives lost in 2020, not to police brutality, but sadly, to mostly black-on-black homicides. Almost all of these murders take place in low-income neighborhoods. Madam Vice President, what's the root cause of that? Why don't you go to those neighborhoods and investigate that? Isn't it time you start worrying more about the young people of America dying in our streets nightly than climate change and transgender bias in Central America that the administration, by the way, claims is forcing migrants north? Yes, they actually said that.
We are looking at the issue of poverty and the lack, therefore, of economic opportunities. the issue of extreme weather conditions and the lack of climate adaptation, as well as corruption and the lack of good governance, and violence against women, Indigenous people, LGBTQ people, and Afro-descendants.
LGBTQ people, that's what's sending them north. The violence against that. Climate change, she just said it. It is that kind of nonsensical left-wing insanity that has to leave us all in disbelief. They aren't serious about fixing these problems, real problems facing Americans. It's all talk and all optics. So today at the border, notice how Kamala did not actually visit the front line. She couldn't be seen with a wall behind her, God forbid, right? Or how about a chain of migrants crossing the Rio Grande? That probably would have happened if she went to the front lines. In fact, Kamala Harris chose to stay mostly indoors there. 900 miles from where the real crisis is. That's McAllen, Texas, where while she took part in photo ops and meaningless meet and greets, this is what Border Patrol agents face on a daily basis. As I said, 900 miles away in McAllen.
Members of the Scorpion and Cyclone factions of the Gulf Cartel from Matamoros and Rio Bravo were fighting for control of the area around the Far International Bridge on Saturday and simply went in to instill terror and dominance. Both women were forced in the trunk of a car. Everyone was forced to the ground. The women would then hear gunshots.
Gunfire. You hear that? Gunfire. There was all-out chaos in those border towns as the cartels battle it out for control. Control the United States does not have right now. Brutal crime in border towns is now on the rise. American border towns too, by the way. But Kamala wouldn't know that because she hasn't been to those towns. Well, joining me now from the border in Sierra Vista, Arizona, Newsmax contributor.
Hey, I'm Rob Finnerty. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please join the conversation in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, too. Hit the bell icon to be alerted to breaking news. And remember, there's a whole lot more on Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news network. Newsmax TV, where real news for real people.